Honda has packed a lot into the Jazz. It's a little bit magic. So what about those magic seats? And they've put the modern USB-Cs in the back, which is a little bit odd. The Jazz has long been one of Honda's most popular models in Ireland, known for its reliability, practicality, and in recent years as a fuel-sipping hybrid. It starts from about €31,500, but traditionally it's always been bigger inside than its super mini rivals. And this is the Jazz Crosstar, which adds small SUV styling to the mix. It mightn't be the coolest looking small car out there, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why I think this is one of the best small hybrid cars you can buy in Ireland right now. The Jazz is quite unique in its segment because it gets this mini MPV-like styling, which is great for the practicality and versatility on the inside. They all come with LED headlights, and there's a 15-inch alloy wheel on the entry-level Elegance, but everything else gets a 16-inch alloy wheel design, like this Crosstar, which has more chunky inspired design features like the roof rails. You've got cladding, silver skid plate, side sills, and it actually sits higher off the ground than a standard Jazz for a little bit more presence. So if you're looking at something like the Toyota Yaris Cross Hybrid, then this might be a good alternative, and it's priced from just under €35,000, which is quite similar to the Yaris Cross Hybrid all the same. The cabin stands out for both the build quality but also the tactility. So there's plenty of dials and buttons in here, which makes it very easy to interact with. The build quality is stand out as well. And of course, Honda is famous for that and also reliability. But just look at this soft pad on the dashboard. The steering wheel feels great, and also the selector here for forward and reverse, all very sturdy and well made. Standard equipment is also excellent, so they all come with a 9-inch touchscreen that comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got some proper dials and buttons for the climate control, which is also standard. There's adaptive cruise control, lots of different safety features, and a reversing camera. If you step up to the Advance, you get heated steering wheel, heated front seats, and also upgraded seat fabric. This one, being the Crosstar, has this special water repellent finish. The only things that are really missing in here, wireless smartphone charging. You can't get that anywhere in the range. There's also old-fashioned USBs up here, and they've put the modern USB-Cs in the back, which is a little bit odd. Storage is excellent, so under here there's space here for keys, there's a cup holder, but they're also on either side of the dash. There's a glove box and even more space in here. So really practical small car. Honda has packed a lot into the Jazz. It's a little bit magic. Here's what the boot looks like. So you've got 304 litres, which doesn't sound great on paper, but the reality is somewhat different because you've got a big wide opening. It's well designed. This is low, so it's easy to get things in and out. Underfloor storage, but it also has Honda's magic seats, which means that they fold completely flat, which makes it a lot easier to load larger items into this. And they also do something else that's very cool. So let's take a look. So what about those magic seats? Well, I absolutely adore these, and I think Honda probably never got enough credit for this, but they're getting the credit now because everyone's crazy about this. So basically you can lift up your seat base just like that, lock it into place, super simple. You've got all this extra space, and you can do it on both sides. So just really clever and very simple as well. Once you get over the excitement of the magic seats, there's more great stuff to report from the back seat of the Honda Jazz, because look at all this legroom. A lot more than in all its super mini rivals, but even small SUVs, and actually from the class above as well. So you can see how those mini MPV-like qualities just make this a really fabulous, practical small car. Now it is still narrow, so it's going to be more comfortable for passengers on the outer seats, but you do have a seatbelt for a middle seat passenger, so if you do have to carry one from time to time, that should be fine. The seats are actually really comfortable. You've got loads of headroom, pockets in the back of those seats. There's 2 USB-C ports for the rear seat passengers. So just a really great small car, and this is where it looks like amazing value for money. So what's this like to drive on Irish roads? Really very good. It has this feel of being a bigger car than what it actually is, particularly compared to its super mini rivals. So it's more refined, it's more comfortable. You could actually take this on a long journey on a motorway, no problem. It's exclusively sold now as a 1.5 litre petrol hybrid, so you've got electric motors, lithium ion battery and a fixed gear transmission, which is great if you're doing a lot of driving in town or traffic, for instance, which is a feature of Irish life these days. It's got 122 horsepower, 0 to 109.7 seconds, but it's far stronger and more robust than the old Jazz petrol that it replaces, which did feel underpowered out of town. But this is much better, and it's got a nice robust feel to it while also being very efficient. So they say about 4.8 litres for the Crosstar. I'm seeing about 5.1, and that's really consistent as well. Motor tax is €180 per year, so it's going to be cheap to run. The handling is actually very good for a small car as well. So of course Honda doesn't just make cars, they engineer cars, even their smallest Jazz like this. I do remember being brought to Mondello Park for an event by Honda Ireland, and they brought everything, Civics, Type Rs, but they also brought the Jazz. And this was the previous one, and they let us drive it on track, and it was actually really good for what it was. But there's no other brand that could let you loose on a racing track in one of their super minis, but Honda absolutely could. And this can hold a really nice tight line through corners. Feels really stable and flat, balanced. So it's actually good to drive. The steering has a nice bit of feel to it. It's not overly light, as sometimes it is in small cars like this. Comfort is good if you're doing motorway trips. It's only really on rural roads where you've got rutted tarmac that it gets a bit louder and you feel more of the bumps. But generally it's good for a car like this. Refinement as well, it's not too noisy. The engine does get noisy if you do try and accelerate hard. That is a characteristic of small hybrid cars like the Yaris or the Yaris Cross Hybrid as well. It definitely favours a more gentle use of the accelerator, and then it's absolutely fine. There's also a B mode that you access here from the gear selector, and that increases the amount of regen braking. There's an econ mode as well for economy that makes it even more efficient, but I've just been happy to leave it in the normal setting. So it's just a really good all-rounder. It looks quite plain and innocuous on the outside, but do not underestimate the Honda Jazz. This is a car that can do so much for so many people. Even if you're looking for a good car on the used market, you know something like this is going to be reliable, it's spacious, it's versatile, and a really fuel efficient hybrid. So just a really easy car to live with, but also to recommend. That's all from the cabin of the new Honda Jazz Crosstar. I don't think the Crosstar is probably my favourite spec. I did get to drive the Advanced Sport last year, and I thought it was really nice in terms of how it looked, and actually they've done a few tweaks to that mechanically as well, and it gets drive modes like sport mode. So that would be my pick of the range. It's the same price as the Crosstar, but if you prefer the more SUV styling of this, then this is the one to go for, and it's a lovely spec on this car as well. You can find more great car reviews over on changinglanes.ie. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.